Hi guys, this is a fireside chat. Not really, but it is 57 degrees here in Central Florida today. And I wanted you to see my fake fireplace. I have it on the setting where the flame changes color. And if you look at it long enough, you will see it changing color. And I think it's the coolest thing since sliced bread. Right now it's orange. And then it'll go to red. And then it'll go to red, orange, yellow. And now it's pink and blue and purple, kind of a purpley red and blue. Bentley's here. And now it's blue and orange, a little bit of pink. And he's licking my mouth. And now it's orange and pink and blue and purple. Anyway, look, I have the heater on. That part right there is the heater because it's cold. Yeah, Bentley's here on my lap, right here on my lap, all curled up on my lap. And I am going to show you guys mixing my vein blue. So stay tuned, hang on. All right, folks, I am trying it from a different angle. And not going to be able to zoom in as much because I end up cutting out everything. So that's as far as I'm going to go. And I'm going to try and stay right where that wrinkle is. Right here. Yeah. So I'm going to mix my vein color. I'm going to start with my odorless thinner. I don't need a lot because I don't use a lot for the veins. I have my craft stick here. This is vein blue, color number 1. I'm going to take about that much, mix it in. George is here. He can see me, so I don't think he'll scream. I can't put music on because I got a copyright strike with my last video. So anyway, we just got back from Lowe's and I bought a bunch of plants. Don't remember the name of them, but one of them is a bougainvillea, and that is a fuchsia color. It's absolutely the most beautiful color, but it has thorns. It has thorns. And I just realized I have the wrong glasses on. I have my distance glasses, and I need my reading glasses. So, hang on. Right here. Okay. Got my reading glasses here, so I'll be able to see better. Veining is a little bit tricky. This looks a little thick. So I'm going to add some more thinner. And I don't have a paper towel here either. I tend to be a little impulsive. So when I want to paint now kind of thing. And that's me. That looks a little bit thinner. I have something on the brush. It's bothering me a little bit, like a little hair. Let me see if I can get it. So you can mix other colors with vein blue. Like I have phthalo green here. I'm going to try adding a tad, just a tad. Like that much, like hardly any, and see that it makes a big difference. It does. Kind of makes it more of a teal color. I love to experiment with color. I really do. That's one of the favorite parts of reborning for me. So I can even add, we're going to do this together. Can even add purple 04. Tiny bit. And see what kind of color we end up with. It just made it a little bit lighter. A little bit lighter in color. That's odd. Well, it's because it's a lighter color. I actually like this color. Yeah. Okay, so since I don't have a paper towel, I'm going to have to go and get one. My impulsive me. So hold on. Okay. Everything is all on one floor here, so everything is very convenient. So now I've got my paper towel. I've got my kit here, and I'm going to use this brush for the veins. Let me get this on the paper towel and clean up my mess that I made on my tablecloth. Okay. That made a little bit of a stain. There we go. That's better. It's a little bit messy over here already. Make sure I don't have any glue on my fingers. Get my arm. She's been baked. So, okay. I've never done veining on camera before. So, this will be a first. Dab it on the paper towel. And I'm going to start with her hand. Let's see. It's perfect. It's light. It's very light. It's not too dark. So I don't make straight lines. I'll show you as soon as I'm done here what it looks like. And what happens is the last stroke of the brush leaves the darkest mark, so I'm going to go back over it from the other direction to make the paint come back up. take my cosmetic wedge and dab the ends so that you don't know where the veins begin and where they end. And this is probably going to be very hard to see on camera, but I'm going to go over it several times because I want it to show up. And it's showing up more. I am not doing straight lines. I'm doing wavy, curvy lines. Blotting the ends so you don't know where the vein begins. That's very important. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's for the front of the hand. Now the other side of the hand, I'm going to mix up my blue again with my mop brush so that it's not separated. This is a different mop brush. The other one was dirty. I have my red set aside, my mottling color set aside so that I can use it again. So here we go with the other side, the inside vein. Curvy, wavy, non-straight lines going towards the wrist. Just like so, and then I'm going to take the paint and go the opposite direction because, like I said, it settles in the last spot that the brush lands on. Blot it. This is very, very, very thin, so I'm going to have to go over it. George is talkative. That's good because we had lunch at Subway today. Nothing special. I am really feeling kind of lousy with the cold weather. Brings on a little bit of a headache for me. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's a vein. And that's a vein. And I usually do one up on her inside of her arm here. You're definitely not going to be able to see this. See? Going over it because it's very light. Huh. Blotting the ends so you don't know where it ends and where it begins. I don't know if you can see that, but it's there. And I usually put blue in between the fingers. But this doll does not lend itself to that because her fingers are all spread. So I don't think that would look good. So I'm not going to do that on this doll. And I usually put a little bit of blue on the thumb, like right here. Because if you look at your thumb, you're going to see a little bit of blue there. So that's what I do. And then a little bit in the palm, I'll put a little bit of blue there, like right in the center of the palm. And it's not even going to be enough to be completely noticeable, but it's there. See, George, see? Going over the vein here a little. so it shows up a little bit more. Blotting it. And take the other side, go over it again. It's perfect. You can barely see it, but you know it's there. And the one on the inside here, upper arm, just go over that a little bit. You can barely see it. I'll probably have to go over this after I use subsequent layers of paint. So I need to see it enough to be able to go over it again in subsequent layers. So that's how I judge. Just enough for me to see it. So that arm is done with the veins. Now I'll get the next one. Stir up the paint. And dip my brush in there. Dry it out a little bit. Put it on the paper towel a little bit. Start with the inside. Not making a straight line. Going towards the wrist. Like so. And the brush does not act the same. Yeah, it's one of the mysteries of the Reborn world is the brush will never act the same. I did the same exact thing, and it's very thick, and it didn't pool at the end this time, so go figure. There's a lot of mysteries in the Reborn world that I cannot explain. It's almost like the doll paints itself sometimes. Doesn't that sound funny? But it's very true. It's very true. Mysteries of the Reborn world. Okay, that's that. I'm going to take my paint from my mop brush this time. Let's see what happens. I'm going to do this part of the arm. So I'm going to come down, making wavy lines. Making another wavy line here, over to here. That one pools a little at the end. See what I mean? Never acts the same. And you don't want the paint pooling in the creases, especially with the blue. That does not look natural. Okay, so here we go. I'm going over it. Going in the opposite direction. I think I'll make another little squiggly line there. Blot it, blot it, blot it, blot it, blot it. Right, George? Huh. Hello. Hello. How you doing? That kind of looks a little thick to me, but that's the way it wanted to do it. So I'm leaving it that way. And this looks much better now. There we go. This is where artistic ability comes in. You have to look and see what looks real, what doesn't look real. Sometimes you will get an outline of a vein with white in the middle, and it's just, the paint does its own thing. It's weird. It's just weird. So I'm liking that, and I'm liking that. I'm going to take the paint from the end of the mop brush, and I'm going to do one on the inside of the arm over here. I'm not using straight lines. I'm using like tree trunks, tree limbs. You get my point. Tree branches. That looks nice. So we're going to go ahead and put a little blue on her thumb like I did on the other one to be consistent. And the blue came out a lot darker on this go around. See what I mean? It does its own thing. It does its own thing. You have to have a good eye. This is where you have to start having a good eye. Because the paint does its own thing. The paintbrush does its own thing. I'm going over this vein again right here. So it shows up a little bit more. I'm liking that now. Okay, that arm is done. And I'm putting these on my drying rack as I do them. Now we're going to do the leg. So I'm going to stir up my paint. Don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Stirring up my paint, dipping my paintbrush in, rubbing it on the paper towel to get the excess off, taking the foot, making a vein on the front of the foot. It's very, very light this time. Don't know why. It's the same paint. I'm going to go up the leg in very, very wavy lines. Just like that. I'm going to come down and make a shorter one right here because I like the way that looks. Blotting it. And I'm going to go over it because it's not showing up on the foot. Blot the ends. If you go over it, got to make sure you follow the same pattern. So got to be able to see what I did the first time. There we go. Can you see that? Probably not. But I told you guys that I would paint on camera, whatever the case may be, and I am doing my best. I'm doing this for you guys. So that's that part of the leg. Now I'm going to do the other side of the leg. Dip my paint in there, wipe it on the paper towel, and do this side of the leg, coming down very, very, very wavy. I'm going to make another line over here like that. These are where I normally put my veins on my doll. Usually the same place every time. Now that came out very thick for some reason, but that's okay. It's okay. It wants to be thick, so I will let it be thick. Blot it so you can't see where it starts or where it ends. I don't know if you can see that. So that side's done, that side is done, and then what I like to do for the feet is I put a little bit on the ankle where the heel meets the ankle. Like that. Can you see that? Right here. I make a little triangle like that. See that? Can you see that? And then blot it. This is going to require multiple coats so that it shows up. But I want to be able to see it for subsequent coats. So that's all I want for now, I think. Maybe one more. And then I do the same thing on the other side of the ankle. A little bit of blue right in the ankle by the heel. And she has a little indentation, so I'm using the corner of the brush. I'll show you when I get done so you can see what it looks like. Can you see that? Can you see that? Then I take some blue right in the center of the foot, right in the center of the foot pad, and put some blue there. Dab it. Can you see that? The lighting is pretty terrible. I'm sure I'm on camera at all. Hello? Hello, George. Sometimes I will take some blue and put it in the thigh on the inside. My camera just shut off. Perfect time for me to check to see if I'm in the camera. I am, and I'm not sure you guys are seeing anything. That's how bad the lighting is. But I just put some blue on the pad of her foot, right in the center. Like that, like so. I put some blue on the inside of her ankle, near her heel. I'm going to go over it again. And it's the outside of the heel right here. I made a little triangle. So that leg is done. I did put a little bit of blue on the thigh, on the inside thigh right here, when my camera shut off. But I don't want a lot there. I just want enough to make the skin look thin right there. Okay, so that leg is done. Get the next leg, and then I'm anxious to get to the face because I want to show you guys. I'm going to try to work fast so that my camera won't shut off when I get to the face. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come down the leg like so, and wavy lines down the foot like so. Make another little vein there coming down like that. Hello, George.
Hello. Hello.
Blot the ends.
Hello.
Blot the ends.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, George. George is very talkative. I don't think he knows he's on camera or he wouldn't be talking. Oh, I'm sorry you guys aren't able to see more. I'm really, really sorry. I don't have the ability to zoom in and stay on frame. So, I just did that leg. Hello, George. It's not showing. You want to say hello? It's not showing up as much as I would like it to. I'm going to go over it. Hello. For those of you who really like my George, this will be a treat for you.
Hello.
Hello, George. Mommy's here. You want to say hello? Okay, I did that. That looks really good. As much as you can't see it. Maybe you can. Alright, now I'm going to do the outside of the leg. Hello, George. Right here. Come around the ankle on one side, the ankle on the other side, like so. Hello. I don't know what you want, George. Blot it. It's coming out very thin. Very, very, very light and thin. It's better than coming out too thick and too dark, though. Because blue, once you have it on there, you can't get it off. Trust me. But you want it to show up. You want it to show up. Yeah, that's the noise he makes when he's not happy. Okay, and then I gotta go and do the sides of the ankles. Make a little triangle there. Just like so. Blot it. And do it again.
Hello.
Hello. it shows up. Patience is a virtue. Remember what I said. You don't want a dark coat. You want a light coat.
Hello?
Okay, now the other side of the ankle. Right here. You just kind of know where the skin is thin on a baby, and that's where you put the blue. That's where you put the blue. It makes the appearance of thin skin.
Hello? Hello?
That looks nice. Don't know if you can see that. And then I say, I'm going to do the pad of the foot. Just right in the middle, just a little blue, and blot that. Just enough to show up. Blot it. Yeah, I don't know if that's showing up or not. I don't know if that's showing up or not, but I'm going to trust that it is, because I want to get to the face. I want to show you what I do to the face. Let me stir this up with my mop brush. Okay, here we go. I go right across from one inner eyelid across the nose to the other inner eyelid across the nose, because the baby's skin is very thin right there. So I just make a stripe going across, and then I blot it. And make it nice and smeared in there so it doesn't look like a line. It looks like thin skin. Can you see that? No, you probably can't. You probably can't. But that's one place I put blue. Right in the nose, on the nose, across the bridge of the nose, starting from the inner eye corner to the other eye corner. That looks good. Looks real good. Then I go on these sides of the nose, do a little blue there. You know, after a while I get to the point where I can see the color before it's there on a baby. Isn't that weird? I mean, I can see where the blue should be, and the blue isn't even there yet. That doesn't make sense to you, but I'm doing this so many times that the colors are there before they're there, and that's weird. I know it sounds weird, but those that paint might understand what I'm saying. You can almost see the color there, even though you haven't put it there yet. So yeah, there it is on the sides of her nose, and then I like to put some, like in the corner of her mouth, like at the bottom, because that's thinner right there, also. Can you see that? Can you see that at all, folks? Ugh. Okay. Then what I like to do is I like to put a vein right here. Right there. A girlfriend of mine told me this. Her babies had veins there. You might know her, Tiffany Campbell from Sweet Sunrise Nursery. She said her babies had veins right here, and she taught me to put them there. G from G's Tiny Toes, you have her babies, so you know her. And this is because of her that I'm doing this right in this spot here. And then sometimes I like to take a little bit of blue by the ear, like right where the skin is real thin by the ear. This just adds a little realism, a little more realism. In my opinion, this is where I like to put the blue. Okay, so now I'm going to do some veining on her head. Start up here and come down and make sure that I get a nice vein like that. Blot it. Hello, George. Hello. Hello. Want to say hello? Can you see that?
Hello?
The camera's probably going to shut off, but I'm going to start doing veining on her head. And I just do little tree trunks. And they all branch off of one another. Hello. Okay. I don't know if my camera is going to shut off, but this is how I do my veining, folks. So now I'm just going to start and make a little squiggly line going over here like that. And then do another one coming off of that, like that. And then take another one going like this, and like that, like a branch. Like a branch. Can you see that? My husband's coming back in. So this is how I do my veining. Like tree trunks, tree limbs. They're all connected to one another. Then you want to come and you want to blot the ends, especially so you don't know where they end.